Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 11, episode 1. What is up, everybody? I'm gonna start doing Real Housewives review videos. I've always wanted to do them, but I never really knew where to start. So this will be my first video, and of course, New Jersey will be the first show that I cover. So, we're just gonna get right into it. But of course, all the usual disclaimers. These are my opinions, and this is how I feel about the show. So, of course, I'm open to a debate and I'm open to healthy conversation. But you're not gonna change my mind on certain things. And that's just it. But anyways, if you like this video, of course, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. That way you can keep up to date. Of course, if you want me to talk about something else, let me know, and I'll, of course, consider it. But anyways, let's get into it. So, of course, the first few minutes of the episode show us what the tone is going to be for the entire season, which is Teresa versus Jackie, and it probably is going to be Teresa versus the entire cast, the way that this cast is set up. But let's get into it. So the show opens up with Jackie, and Jackie saying how much she hates cleaning. Bitch, me too. As you can see, my room is kind of a mess, but to my defense, I just moved in, so a lot of my clothes are on the floor. You see my cowboy boots all the way in the back over there, but she says that she spends a lot of time with her family, and that's what she's most happy about. And let me tell y'all something. New Jersey housewives have some of the finest husbands across the entire franchise. Uh, Dolores' ex-husband, Melissa's husband, Jackie's husband. Oh, ooh. Evan Goldschneider is a fine ass white man. He is a fine white man. Lord have mercy. But we'll get into it, of course, later on. It cuts to all the individual girls, and theirs aren't really worth mentioning. And then we get to Teresa, who, of course, she's coming off of her losing her father to pneumonia and a stroke. And, she's dealing with the loss of her father. Oh, sorry, my camera just wanted to autofocus all of a sudden. She's dealing with the loss of her father. She's dealing with the loss of, her husband or whatever. And she's moving on, thank God. But still, it's a lot for her to have to take in at one time. So obviously this was filmed during COVID. This entire season was filmed during COVID, but the way that they filmed it, you wouldn't think that COVID existed just because they, I think, know how to film, compared to the other shows. No one on New Jersey, at least that's not what I think, caught COVID. Atlanta, someone caught COVID. Beverly Hills, someone caught COVID. Orange County was just, whatever. We won't talk about them, but the scene opens up with Jackie and her fine ass husband getting out the car. And, Evan looks very good for his age, even BS aside, he looks very good for his age. He is he is a fine ass white man. Jackie better start giving him blowjobs before someone else do. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Margaret gets there, and she looks good. She had a breast augmentation or whatever. The only thing I will say, without saying that I'm telling women what to wear or whatever, is I wish she would have put on some nipple covers because her nipples were showing. But other than that, she knows how to make a 1970s look good. Melissa gets there. She looks real good, but the only thing about Melissa that I don't like is how she is always plain. She doesn't really do anything else, but she wears like a simple dress. No, maybe a pair of studs on her ears, but no piercings, no necklaces, her wedding ring, and that's it. She makes it look, she's very plain, but, what do you expect from a plain woman? Joe Gorga is a fine ass little Italian man. He has a lot of testosterone, so he's always aggressive. You already know that. But then Dolores gets there. Of course, she's there with Frank and not her boyfriend, and everyone clocked it whenever she got there. But the streets are saying that he's paying all her bills, so I ain't mad at her though. If she got somebody that can pay all her bills for her, then that's fine. But one thing I'm gonna say is that Dolores needs to hire a goddamn stylist, because I'm tired of seeing her walking with those damn wedges that she be wearing and that goddamn summer dress that she be wearing. Like, it's tired. Like, she needs to get a stylist. I mean, come on now. I mean, I can't really dress better, but at the end of the day, I'm not on national TV all the time, so. Jennifer comes through. Jennifer looked good. Jennifer's probably the best dressed at least at the party. Melissa is seething. Melissa starts talking about how she got clocked at the reunion last season, and how Jennifer was saying she was self-absorbed and she's not gonna have another baby. I mean, there's some truth in it, in my opinion, but whatever. You know, they all get together and they're saying like, Jackie doesn't give her man blowjobs, and then Jennifer was like, they don't call it a job for no reason or whatever. She said something stupid, and I was like, come on now. Now, I ain't gonna get into my sex life like that now, but I will say, blowjobs are not that hard. I mean, they're not, whether you're giving or getting, they're not that hard, but whatever, that's all I'm gonna say on that. Margaret starts saying that they're gonna take a girls' trip. Good for them, but then Melissa's like, well, now why not Vegas, knowing full well they can't fucking fly anywhere because of COVID, but, I expect that from Melissa. And then Teresa walks in late, but Teresa looked it good too, so, I mean, I ain't gonna be mad at her. She's there with her friend Michelle, who happens to be her real estate agent for her house. But then when she walked in, something funny happened because the camera immediately panned to Joe, and Joe was just staring at her. So there's something going on, and if y'all watch the trailer, she does say something about Joe, but we'll see that later. So then when Teresa gets to, that's when all the shit happens, of course. Teresa starts saying shit like, oh, didn't I hear something about him messing around at the gym? Now, she didn't say if it was with a man or a woman. She didn't say if it was with multiple people or whoever, but she did say that she heard. Now, listen, she heard that he was sleeping around or messing around at the gym. And she runs and tells Melissa. And everyone knows that Melissa's in cahoots with Jackie. And then she runs and goes and tells Margaret. And everyone knows that Jackie and Margaret are good. And then she runs and goes and tells Jennifer. And Jennifer, says, I don't remember. It just went in one ear and went out the other. Because she doesn't even remember who said it. And then she goes and tells Dolores. So she's going around telling everybody at this party that there's a rumor going around about Evan and him cheating on his wife. I think production was in her ear trying to get her to start this rumor, because the fact that she was so on 10 to get this rumor out to everybody kind of made it seem like someone was in her ear telling her, all right, this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to start the season. But maybe, I don't know. But they're trying to set Teresa up as the villain this season. And I mean, we already know that. It's whatever. Everyone leaves, of course, and then it shows all the girls talking to their significant others or their mother or whatever, and they're all talking about Teresa and everything, and how she was going around telling everybody the rumor. We get to Joe Gorga and Melissa's scene, and this is what I'm going to say about Joe Gorga. Joe Gorga needs no more confessionals. No more confessionals. He needs no more confessionals. That man has gotten one every season since season 3. He needs no more. We don't want to hear what Joe Gorga has to say about anything that's going on. We don't want to hear anything about that. We want to hear what the Housewives have to say. We want to hear, well, not really, but some people want to hear what Melissa Gorga has to say about the season. We don't care about what Joe Gorga has to say. He's a little fine, little short thing to look at, but that's about it. We don't care. When he was laying in that bed, though, with his clothes off, ooh, Lord have mercy. But whatever. No more Joe Gorga confessionals. So this is where I want to get on Dolores. Okay. We already went on her fashions, and she's still wearing those tired ass fashions that she's wearing. But this is where I want to get on Dolores, okay? Because she's disrespectful as fuck to her man, and this is why I say that. She has a man who she built a house with, right? She built this house with this man. And she's living at her old house with her ex-husband while the son is living at the house with the boyfriend. How does that even work? Why is your son at the boyfriend's house and not at the house with the parents? And why is Dolores not at the house with the boyfriend, whose house she built together with? That don't make no sense to me. But that's just me. If it were me, I'd be at the house with the boyfriend. Frank Catania had done came and went, but like I said, the streets are saying that Frank Catania be paying Dolores his bills and her mortgage and whatever. So, you know, if that's how she doing it, that's how she doing it. But she's disrespectful as fuck to her man. But that's besides the point. So she says that her and her man have been getting into arguments because of the fact that they have she went and got selective surgery and he's not a big fan of it. And she didn't tell him until the day before she was supposed to fly out to get the surgeries. If you're not paying for it, then I don't think you really have much to say about anything. If it's my money, my body, my choice, I can do whatever the fuck I want so long as I'm funding the program. Now, what I would have done was told him maybe a week or two before the surgery. That way, you know, he could prepare himself. But to do it the day before, it's like, come on. That's stupid. So he walked off and he said, I'm done. Now, Dolores about to lose a good man, but I'll take him. Hell, I need a man. So I ain't even gonna be mad at her. She better stop before someone else take her man. Kind of like what happened with Frank Catania. He was cheating on her. This is what's gonna happen with her new man too. But Frankie Jr., what did Phaedra say with her mama in season 3? I know that's right. So then we get to Jennifer, and Jennifer's talking about her parents were fighting, and her brother moving out caused, you know, a lot of them fighting because he was the one to buffer between the two of them. So she moved her father into her home, her big ass 35, however big her fucking house is. I was about to say 35,000, probably like 15,000, whatever. But she moved him into her home with her and her kids and her husband. And you know, I get it because I have a mother who I love to death, but she's very toxic, if you will. You know, I'm not going to get into details of how she's toxic, but she's very toxic, and that caused me to have to move out of her home because she doesn't know how to control her emotions, you know, and blames it on, you know, something else. But, you know, I get it because I kind of can relate. So, her husband said something like, you know, what did he say? If you can't control your emotions, then it makes everybody else uncomfortable, which is true. But at the end of the day, I just leave. If I'm pissed off or I'm mad, I just leave, because if I go off on somebody, then I'm gonna look wrong. So I just leave the situation altogether. So then we get to Teresa. Of course, Teresa didn't have a cameraman that day, looked like, and she had her Melania in the background recorded her. The producers told her to send the footage to them so they can put it in the episode. But she got a phone call from Jackie, and Jackie was just like, "Look, I know you've been talking shit about my husband at his party, so we need to have a conversation about this, because if I'm in a house with you for more than a day, I can't control myself from trying to kill your ass. So we need to have a conversation." You know, and Teresa was like, "All right, but where are we gonna have it?" And of course, they picked Margaret's house, and Teresa was like, "Well, why there?" Of course, but Margaret's the medium. Even though Margaret's team Jackie, you know, Margaret's the medium. So Teresa hangs up. She's like, "Oh, okay." Like, she didn't just cause a fucking problem. You know, I love Teresa to death, but she was kind of wrong with starting that rumor at Jackie's husband's party. But whatever. The scene, of course, gets to Jackie, and she's leaving Teresa, her house, and Jackie looks worn out. She looks tired as fuck. She looks like she don't even want to deal with this at all. But where Jackie messed up is she said something about like, "Oh, well, it's the thing that hurts the most is my friend, someone who I consider a friend, came to my husband's party and was just spreading these disgusting rumors about him." Bitch, you knew that fucking Teresa was not your friend. Teresa was not your friend. She was not your friend since you met her season 1. Season 1. Season 9. She ain't your friend season 10. She definitely ain't your friend season 11. And that's just it. Okay? She ain't your friend. She's not. So you saying that's kind of stupid. But then she gets to Margaret's house and she starts talking to Margaret and saying that she spread malicious lies about people. And then it cuts to her talking to Melissa about how Melissa was a stripper. She used to dance for somebody. And, you know, she went to Kim D. Someone saying, like, well, she had no evidence and she got upset when people were saying that about Joe. And it cut to her arguing with Kim D. And what kills me is that just proves that Jackie's a fan of the show. You know, at this point in time, I understand if they watch seasons past so they can kind of get an idea of why everyone's kind of upset with each other. But she watched the show. Like way before she even decided to join the show. So, I mean, she already knew what was going on. Of course, she's going to bring up shit that she wasn't even there for. But whatever. They're setting up the season to be Teresa versus everybody, which is fine because Teresa's been fighting each other. She's been fighting the girls off her since season 3. So I ain't even gonna be mad at it because I mean she can handle herself. When Teresa gets there, though, of course they get right down to business. Jackie says, "Look, you dragged my husband's name through the mud, so I need you to sit here on national TV and tell everybody that this was not true." You know, of course, then Teresa's trying to justify it, and she's saying, you know, look, I don't want to make you mad, but, you know, this is something that I heard. I heard this rumor. I heard it. So, of course, Jackie was just, you know, doubling down and was like, you have to admit that this person doesn't know me or Evan to say this. And then Teresa was like, well, I don't know that. Obviously, they do. If they said this, so they obviously know you. And then Jackie was like, well, then who said it? Who said it? Now, Teresa, this is where she lost me because she said, I can't say the person's name. So I don't know if she was drunk at the party and she said she couldn't remember who told her this, or she truly was sober and couldn't remember, or she knew and just didn't want to say it. But now she's saying she can't say the person's name, but back then she was saying that she didn't remember. So it's one or the other. Either she knew or she didn't. She wants to say the person's name or she doesn't. But regardless, she's not saying the person's name. Of course, what happened? Then Jackie says something like, Teresa said something like, well, you know how many married men come to me saying that they want to, you know, do stuff with me and they're married or they'll be willing to have an affair with me and blah, blah, blah. And Jackie was like, well, my married man isn't looking in your direction. I don't know if Jackie thinks that Teresa wants her man, but I promise you, Teresa don't want no Evan Goldschneider. But bitch, I do. I'll take him. Please. I'll take him. But Teresa don't want her man, but whatever. She's trying to, you know, make it like she does. But, so, what happened? So Teresa's reiterating, I heard this rumor. So this is where I side-eye Jackie a little bit because this is where she completely lost me. One thing about me is that I'll never fight fire with fire and I'll never go tit for tat with somebody about, with something. But, obviously Jackie do because she said, oh yeah, well I heard, she didn't say I heard. She said, well, no. She did say. She said, I heard Gia does coke. Gia does coke in the bathroom at parties. Now, before I get any deeper into that, I feel like children are off limits. And the reason why I say that is because children do not get to sign up for the show. Children, whether they're 20 years old, 15 years old, 18, whatever, they don't get to sign up for the show. Okay? Children are off limits. What did Nene say at the season 4 reunion? She said, now let's not go there with the kids, sweetie. She said, you better back up off the whole kitty thing. That's what she said. Kids are off limits now. And I feel like for me, I would much rather be considered, if I had to choose between being a cheater or a drug addict, I'd be a cheater. Because being a drug addict carries so much more weight than being a cheater. I feel like Evan Goldschneider's not going to lose his career and his life's going to be ruined and his family's going to be broken apart by a rumor of him cheating on her. I feel like Gia, being a prospective law student, if this is on national TV, that a grown woman who says that she's a smart lady, is going on TV saying that she heard this 20-something-year-old girl is doing coke in the restroom. I feel like that's a lot worse and it carries more weight. And Jackie shouldn't have been playing tit for tat. And, Jackie's doing press meetings talking about, well, this is something that I heard. This is something that I heard. Or, no, what did she say? She said, oh, it's an analogy. And anyone who watches the show will see that it was an analogy. Baby, an analogy means that you're comparing the two. Comparison. You're saying, well, you know what, Teresa? That's like me saying, or what if I said, that opens the door to, compare. What if I said I heard Gia's doing coke? What if I said one of your daughters was doing something that she shouldn't have been doing? How would you feel if I heard that? That's what she could have said, but she didn't. She knew that what she was doing, and she knew that she made this lie up to start problems with Teresa. But Teresa's pissed off, of course, calling her. She said, "You're a fucking bitch. Fuck you. Fuck." She said, "See you next Tuesday." Actually, so you're fucking. See you next Tuesday. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. She's flicking her off, telling her, "Fuck you," all this other stuff. And Jackie was like, "I'm living the life that you want. I win." No, baby. I think Teresa still wins because Teresa's the face of New Jersey. When you think of New Jersey Housewives, you think of Teresa. Okay? When you think of, anything New Jersey related on Bravo, you think of Teresa. I don't think Jackie understands the weight that Teresa's name carries for this show. So I don't know why Jackie's sitting there saying that, but I promise you, I don't think Teresa wants Jackie's life. So Teresa leaves, of course, she's pissed off, and yeah, rightfully so. You don't talk about children. To bring up someone's child to compare one situation to the next, it's bullshit. And she knows she's wrong for doing that, because she shouldn't have brought up her child's name to do anything. Your daughter's doing coke in the bathroom. How's that not different from you saying that my husband cheats on me? It's very different, because one involves drugs, one involves sleeping with somebody that's not your wife. That's the difference. So, of course, Jackie, being the smart girl that she is, don't understand that. But, I'm not justifying what Teresa said was right, but at the same time, what Jackie did was wrong. You don't compare something as big as that. You could have said, I heard that Gia drinks wine without you being there. Like, that would have been a little bit less of a... Because kids, people under 21 drink all the time. But to say drugs, like cocaine, like, that's where it was wrong. You don't bring up cocaine. Like that's stupid. So that was, this episode, this season, the first episode of season 11, and honestly, it was one of the best premiere episodes I've ever seen in my life. Like, I really did enjoy New Jersey Housewives premiere, and it's one of the best shows right now. I can even already tell that. But my thoughts coming up, I feel like they're gonna make this Teresa versus the entire cast, like every other season that she's been on. Melissa's bum ass ain't gonna defend her niece. She's gonna defend Jackie. Yeah, how is that different? How is that different? Bitch, the woman just said your niece does coke in a bathroom. Of course, you're gonna sit there and jump onto her defense. No more Joe Gorga confessionals. He don't need no more confessionals. I don't care how he feels about his sister. He's not the housewife. Melissa Gorga is the housewife, not Joe Gorga. I don't want to see any more Joe Gorga confessionals. Joe Gorga's the only house husband that gets confessionals. Frank, Bill, Evan, the other girls, they don't even get confessionals. Why does he get confessionals? Who is he? Who is Joe Gorga? He needs to worry about why he goes caught stealing stuff at fucking Home Depot and not about what's going on here. But anyway, that's it for me. It's 30 degrees outside. I'm cold as fuck and I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go get me something to eat. Y'all have fun, enjoy, and I will be back for episode 2 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. I will talk to y'all later. Goodbye.